So what is the difference between me or anyone here, the difference between you and one of the beggars on the street? What is the difference between us and the monkeys in the trees, us and the street dogs? Why is it that I have flowers and the beggars have nothing? Or maybe they have some things. If this is a world of one, then it's the same energy looking through everybody's eyes. So if you look at me, it's the same looking as on the street, as a beggar on the street, as a monkey in the tree, as a dog on the street. There is no difference. God is there too. So why has this form got these flowers? Why does this form get these flowers? Why does Ramana Maharshi get the flowers? If God's looking out of everybody's eyes, what's the difference between the person sitting next to you? God is everywhere, in everything, is everything. And that's the true non-dual message. The mind separates and says, this one is better than this one is higher than this one. That's to do with the mind. That's not to do with non-duality. Non-duality is remembering the freedom that is everywhere, in everything. I heard this beautiful quote once, which is so touching, and I can't remember what teacher or what speaker it was, but they said, when I have done my job well, or it's something along the lines of this, when I've done my job well, the student or the person I'm speaking with will no longer see me as higher, will no longer regard me as anything, and will not say thank you for what I have given. They will just walk away. I remember reading that and just cried at how beautiful that was. Because that's the truth of it. It's only the mind that divides. It's only the mind that puts higher and lower. God can't. That which is looking can't. It can't think. It can't feel. It can't do anything. It creates all these forms to do that. And then it plays all these games in these forms. But who you truly are, presence, which is looking now, that which is experiencing this, isn't a thing. So it can't think anything. It uses forms to think. Presence rejects nothing. And I'm not telling you to do this on the human form, but I'm saying this as the absolute. Presence rejects nothing. The true nature here takes nothing, rejects nothing. You could say it gives everything because it's the creator of all, but takes nothing. It is not greedy, it is not selfish, it is not generous. It is presence. It is the knowing here which isn't a form. So you look at me and you think you're looking at me and you're looking at someone, but that's not true. There is looking, and then there is a looking through an instrument which interprets, so the body-mind which interprets, I'm someone, she is someone else. And then it tries to find its position in relationship to that someone else. That's part of what the mind does. So it says, am I lower or higher than her? If you're lower, normally then you give reverence. If you're higher, then you don't want the lower to take your energy. But presence has got nothing to do with that. What we're talking about, non-duality, is beyond all of that. It's a freedom that's so vast, and what non-duality is pointing to is an energetic movement back to that presence, to that freedom, which is right here. The presence isn't behind. It's not the observer behind. It observes, but it's not this observer behind. Presence is everywhere. where you can't say that it's behind, because in order to say it's behind, you would be looking at it. There would be a divide. The knowing is in all things. So now the wall is known. The seat is known. My voice is known. The flowers are known instantaneously. There is no separation from them. They are known. The taste of this is known. It's free. The knowing is free. The smells of the incense is known. The feeling of the butt on seat is known. It's known, and that's who you are. It's never born or dies. The form comes and goes. Things come and go. And the job of this, the awakening is this, is finding that love, finding that presence in a world that's always moving. Isn't it amazing? So the only place it could be is right here in the knowing. That's the only thing that never moves. You never lose the presence. This is always known. This always is. But all forms come and go. This form is exactly the same as all other forms. And the dog, the manky dog on the street is exactly the same. The monkeys in the trees are exactly the same. They're all dead matter with presence, with God looking through. They are not alive. This body is not alive. You look at me and think I'm alive, but I'm not. There is nobody that's alive, yet there is presence that knows everything. There is God that knows everything. This is God's dream, looking through all these vessels. But don't take this on in the human form. Hear this beyond the human form. If the human form, the personality tries to become non-dual, it will be a bit messed up. The personality is the personality structure has a certain way of being, but it's not. That personality structure will change with this realization and with the waking up process, but that's not the thing that wakes up. The person isn't the thing that wakes up. If it was a thing, then this wouldn't be freedom. This wouldn't be non-duality if it was a thing that woke up. This is nothing that remembers itself, not a thing. If it's a thing, then it's a world of duality. If there is something that gets enlightened, then it's a world of duality, because there is something which gets something. But the looking is always here, and what happens is that cloud of illusion begins to move. And then it's known that presence is everywhere and knowing itself, that God is everywhere, looking through all these forms at itself. That everywhere you look, everything you touch is yourself as that wholeness. Not as a person, but as that wholeness. It's so beautiful. It's absolute compassion.